Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kyle from Growing Up Garden. Today I'm going to give you guys a tour of our 2019 vegetable garden. And at the end of the tour, I'm going to sit down and discuss the future of the garden. And I also want to let you guys know what's been going on this year with our family and exciting things we have coming up in the future. So let's get started. All right, so I'm going to start the tour off in the front by the street. So let's head over here first on the side. So I have a bunch of mountain honey cantaloupes growing here on the side on this trellis. And I've got them growing off of the ground because if you grow these mountain honeys on the ground, especially here at my house, this is what happens when they hit the ground. The bugs will chew holes in them and then they'll actually rot while they're still on the vine. So it's better to have them up on the trellis and then they don't get any bug damage. And then how do you tell if they're ripe? Well, what happens is they'll fall off on the ground when they're ripe, and then you just come out in the morning and look for cantaloupes. So let's see if there's one. I don't think there is any ripe ones that fell this morning, but yeah, there's none this morning. But we have a few more left that we got to check for. We got about 6, 7, 8. Well, there's a bunch. There's cantaloupes everywhere. We have a bunch of ripe ones in the house. So let's head over here. So this is the zucchini bed, or one of the zucchini beds. So I've got Fort Hook and Black Beauty zucchini growing in here. And we've literally grown probably hundreds and hundreds of pounds of zucchini this year. We've got so much zucchini we can't eat it all. We have to give it away. And we still have boxes and boxes of it. I've got some purple sugar cane growing in the middle. Let me head over, you stay there, and I'll come over here. So this is the purple sugar cane. We got this from our local farmers market. I just planted this in here this year, and next year we should get some nice cane stalks off of this purple sugar cane. So let's head up here to the next section of the garden. So this is our green bean patch, and it's kind of at the end of the season. Let's look in here. These are the Blue Lake bush beans. These are a really good bean to grow in your garden. They produce a lot of green beans. During the beginning of the season, we were getting at least a colander full of beans per day, right, honey? Yeah. Oh, you know what? Look at this. This cantaloupe must have just fallen off today. It actually fell on an old cantaloupe that's on the ground. So yeah, it pays to come out here and take a look. We'll eat this one later. Wash off that rotten spot. Let me just set that one there. So that's the green bean patch. It's getting a little bit crispy. So behind me, this is our tomato wall. These are Sun Gold tomatoes. These are the Sun Golds over here. And I've got the Sun Sweet cherry tomatoes. They almost look identical. Can't really tell the difference, can you? But they're both really delicious. Up under here, I've got an Ace tomato. Check out those Ace tomatoes. Really good for making sandwiches with. I do have a pineapple heirloom tomato, and it's only given us a couple tomatoes, so it's not really producing enough tomatoes for me, so I'm probably not going to grow it next year, but they were really delicious when we did get one. Okay, so let's head over here. These are our grapes. We've got, what is the variety of this grape? I always forget. Let's see, can you give them a shot, honey? Do you remember the variety?
Are they Black Manuka? Red Flame?
Those, Red Flame. Yeah, these are the Red Flame grapes. We started this off as a cutting from my wife's grandfather, the cameraman's grandfather, and it's been about two or 3 years since I started it, and it's basically taking over the yard. It's growing all the way across the entire garage, and it's growing this direction as well over our little archway trellis in our walkway. So it's growing pretty good. It doesn't have the best looking grapes on this plant, but I do have another plant that has some nice grapes on it. So let's show them this section of the garden. So these are our twin tomato towers. This is the early girl tomato, and it's completely loaded with tomatoes, like more than we could probably eat. You need to start picking these, honey, so we can use them in our dinners. Check this out. There's a praying mantis up in here. Oh, is that a praying mantis? What is that thing? I can't get him. Oh, he ran off. I think that was a praying mantis. We have lots of praying mantises here in our garden. Very good for getting rid of caterpillars or hornworms. I've actually seen the praying mantises eating the hornworms in the garden. Behind the early girl tomato, I've got a better boy tomato, which is kind of buried up in there. It's hard to get to. This place is such a jungle. Give him a shot of that. I'm gonna step back a second here. So this is one of my pepper beds. This bed is full of Edgevarsky peppers. One of my favorite peppers to grow. I'm gonna actually pick one. Let's pick one so we can show everybody what they look like. So this is one of the Edgevarskys. Really delicious pepper. I actually cut some of these up yesterday, and I made some homemade hummus and used these to dip the hummus with. And then my son Blake, he likes to eat these just straight, right off the plant. We do have one hot pepper this season. We've got a jalapeno pepper plant, and here the jalapenos are. They're actually turning red. Can you see them? There's the jalapenos, completely loaded with jalapenos. So if you like spicy peppers, we got lots. We gotta give some to our neighbors. So let's show them the strawberries. So I planted these strawberries last year, and they didn't really give too much. And this year they've completely taken over the garden, and eventually they're going to take over this whole bed if I don't do something about it. I don't think we have any strawberries now, but we did have tons and tons of strawberries. And the kids like to come out here and pick them and eat them. Up on this trellis back here, I've got these are Blue Lake pole beans growing, and they're actually kind of hard to get to, but there's a lot of, look at all the dried beans we have. We'll have to harvest those, and maybe we can make a bean dish with those in the Instapot. We also have yard-long beans that came up as volunteers, and I don't really see any. Oh, here's some right here. So here's one of the yard-long beans. Now, these are actually really good for, we use these in making our lentil dishes in the Instapot. Really tasty, really delicious. They're easy to chop up when they're green, not like this, but I'll put that back there, and that'll come back next season. Let's show them this area. This area really didn't get, I didn't get to this area this year because I've been too busy. So usually I'd have my kagutsa gourds growing on in this area, and they just didn't make it. I actually did plant a couple, but I planted them too late and they didn't really come up. Here's one of them right here, but it's not going to make it. It's too late in the season. We do have a lot of Malabar spinach starting to come up all along here. This is all Malabar. It's actually a really pretty plant just to look at, and you can eat it too. So that's the Malabar. Let's head in. Go ahead and show them the Malabar. So let's head into the next section. Get a little tomato snack. So I have more peppers growing in this section. I have some peppers, and I do have some eggplants growing in here. The only problem is the eggplants are they're getting too shaded out, so I don't know if the eggplant's going to give us much. Oh, it actually does have one eggplant on it. So I'm getting something at least. They do need more sunlight, unfortunately. But these are more Edgevarsky peppers. I do have two right in here. There's two sweet banana peppers. Look at these bad boys, honey. We'll have to start cooking these. What we usually like to do with these is we cook them, we chop them up, and we cook them with tofu and make kind of like a breakfast scramble with tofu. Super delicious. pepper to use for that. Or you can, a lot of people use, you know, eggs. If you guys eat eggs, you can cook them with eggs. So we're gonna have like buckets and buckets full of these peppers pretty soon, because at the end of the season, it takes pretty much all season to get the peppers. Usually around August, September, these things start, you know, ripening up. So I can't wait for that. We're gonna be eating lots of peppers soon. So let's look over here. This is an area I really haven't done much with. I threw a couple of these naked lady plants in, and they're actually starting to bloom right now. These smell real good, by the way. Can you smell them? And they smell good. And then the Malabar spinach is actually kind of creeping up on them. Looks kind of cool. Get a shot of that. This is my wife's area that she said I can't touch. So let's take a look at this. So this plant here is camphor-free, and it's actually really good for starting your compost with. Now if you have a lot of fruit trees, you can plant this around the base of your trees, and then what you do is once it grows up, you can chop and drop it, and it'll basically break down it and create some good compost for you. Good mulch. This is our composting area, so where all our food scraps go at the end of the day. We usually have, I don't know, probably seems like a barrel full of food scraps every day that come out of our house. We eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. That's all we eat because we're vegan. So everything ends up in the drawer form composter. There's only one problem I've had the last 6 months. We haven't been putting enough carbon in the compost, so it's all nitrogen material. And when there's too much nitrogen, the black soldier flies like to come in and lay their eggs in the compost, and yeah, it gets pretty funky in there. So right now this thing is full of black soldier flies. Want to take a look? Let's take a look. See if we can see how disgusting it is. Can you see in there? So there's all the black soldier fly larvae, and black soldier fly larvae are really good at consuming organic material. So I actually just made a video doing a little experiment. My cats killed 2 birds and they left them on our front porch. So what I did is I actually threw them in this composter, and the soldier flies basically consumed them overnight. Completely gone. So you have to check that video out. I'll put a link down below so you guys can look at that video. I do need to take care of this problem. I need to dump this out and start over, because there's way too much nitrogen in that composter. So behind me I've got some more of the red flame grapes. Give them a shot of the grape clusters. So the grapes this year, this is the first year we've actually got grapes like this, and they're all cracked, which I don't quite understand why. I'm not a grape growing expert yet. So if any of you guys know why the grapes are cracking, leave a comment down below. Let's see if they actually taste good. Let's see if I can get one. Yeah, they're not even quite ripe yet, huh? Not the tastiest yet. They need to ripen up some more. So yeah, we got a lot of grapes growing back here. The other night we had a family of raccoons come in the garden. It was a mother and 5, I think it was 5 babies? 4 babies. 4 babies were getting in the garden. We came out here, the mom was over by the gate, and all the babies were back here eating the grapes back here, which, you know what, I don't really mind, because these grapes are they kind of got like a powdery mildew on them, and they're all cracked, so I'll feed some of the wildlife this year. They didn't touch any, I don't think they touched any of our tomatoes or anything else, just the sweet stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at this herb bed. So this is my kids' herb garden. We've got parsley growing in the herb garden, basil, sweet basil. This is starting to bolt. I've got sage. Give them a shot of the sage. Purple basil, and then more basil, green basil. These are actually these 2 plants here were actually the same. They're the same plant. I just separated it. There was 2 plants in one pot, so I separated it, and I got 2 basil plants out for 1 for the price of 1. So I don't know if you guys know this about basil. You don't want to have these guys bolting like this, because the leaves, you know, it'll just go to seed. So what we'll do is we'll come out here and we'll prune all these off. You get rid of all these. We've done this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times this year, and the basil plant will keep. Yeah, we can see where we cut them. It'll keep growing new leaves instead of, you know, growing seeds. So you always want to come out and prune your basil plants to keep them growing through the season. So that's it for this area of the garden. Let's head back out to the front and I'll show you another section I have food growing in. Alright, so I'm on the side yard of my house, and we've got some sugar cane growing. And I started this sugar cane maybe 3 to 4 years ago, and it was actually growing in another location in the garden, and I transplanted it to this location. And it's actually really, you can't kill this plant. You cannot kill sugar cane. Once you get it established, you can dig these things up and move it around. You can actually break these cane poles off. Like, I can cut this off here, and I can actually start it in a pot. So that's what this one was. This was actually at the top of one of these cane poles. It had some roots growing naturally, and I cut it off, and it's taken well. And now I've got a couple more sugarcane plants to transplant at a later date. So if we look down here at the ground, I've got more zucchini plants, more of the Black Beauty and Ford Hook zucchinis. This is kind of my zucchini alleyway here. And buried up underneath here, let's show them this. This is actually kind of cool. I have 2 different things growing here at different times of the year. So the zucchini grows during the summer, and then during the winter time, this is an artichoke plant, and this will come up during the winter, and it's pretty much, it gives the artichokes around right around April, I think, and we'll get some nice artichokes off of that during the winter. So let's head over to the fig tree box that I have growing. So this is our fig tree. We've had it almost 5 years. We started it from a cutting about the size of my finger. We got it from my wife's grandfather. It's an Italian fig tree. That's what he told us it was. And it's completely loaded with figs. Whoop, there's a fig. And we've already picked a nice basket of figs off of it. And there's still quite a few left on the tree. Our son and daughter absolutely love to eat figs. They like cry for these things. That's how much they love them. So in the fig box, I've got a bunch of other things growing. Now, these are all volunteer plants that came up. So these are some of the mountain honey cantaloupes. I must have spilled some seeds in the fig box. And now I've got cantaloupes and green beans growing. These are the blue leg bush beans growing in there as well. Now this container that the fig tree is in is a steel container that I made with some reclaimed fence boards. And it's kind of a funny container because it has wheels and a trailer hitch, because I need to move this thing around the yard. So I kind of made this a little bit hokey because I didn't have time or the right materials laying around, so I just loaded that hitch on and give them a shot of the wheels. Here's the wheels for my fig box, so we can move it. I know it's a little bit crazy to have to move your fig box around, but we don't have a lot of space here in our yard, so we got to maximize our space as good as we can. All right, so let's head to the backyard and check out what we got growing back there. All right, so we're in our backyard. We don't have a lot growing back here, but we do have a couple trees. So this is one of our trees. This is our 5 variety apple tree. And this thing a couple weeks ago was completely covered in apples, completely loaded. The branches were about to break off. And it's kind of a weird tree. This tree has been giving the apples early in the season. I think like, was it January, February? It's like starting to get flowers on it. And then last year we actually had it give 2 crops of apples, which is kind of weird. So maybe we'll get another crop of apples off of this this year. I'm not sure, but yeah, 5 varieties. It's in another container. I made this container from some reclaimed wood, some 2x6 wood that I found in the trash, and then some fence boards from the neighbors. And it's actually holding up pretty nicely. We planted this tree 6 years ago, so yeah, it's doing good. One of these days the tree will get moved and put in the ground at some location in the future. So let's check out this other tree we have growing. Alright, so here's our other fig tree. This fig tree I started from a cutting from the main fig tree in the front yard. I think I started a couple years ago thinking it might grow quicker than the one in the pot, but it's actually, this one hasn't given any figs yet, unfortunately. So maybe next year it'll give some figs. We'll see. Eventually I'm going to have to dig this up and maybe transplant it somewhere else because I can't really have a gigantic fig tree so close to the neighbor's house. I've got a couple sugarcane plants. This is the green sugarcane, and I've got some of the purple sugarcane. I just threw a couple pieces back here in the ground just to have some plants growing as backup in case my main sugarcane dies in the front. And then the final thing have growing is this. This is my herb bed, and I have not touched this herb bed, unfortunately, and it's not getting enough water. So I kind of let it go this year just because I've been too busy. So we've got some mint. We got alpine strawberries growing. They don't really these haven't really done that well. More sage. I think this is stevia, and then the thyme. Got some thyme growing. Still smells good, even though it's not getting any water. So that's pretty much it for the garden. All right, guys. So let's talk about the future of the garden here at our house. So unfortunately, we're going to be moving out of this house and into a new property. And we're not going to sell this house. We're going to keep it and rent it. But I have to get it ready for renters. So the garden, a lot of the garden stuff is going to come out. Some of the raised beds I think are going to stay, and I'll probably maybe I'll mulch them in and maybe put some like drought tolerant plants in there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but I want to make it as easy as possible for renters. I don't want to have a lot of maintenance to do here. In a perfect world, I'd get a renter that loves gardening, like one of you viewers out there. But unfortunately, most people don't like the garden, and most people don't like to eat, healthy homegrown veggies. They just go to the fast food restaurant, and that's how they get their dinner, or they buy their veggies at the supermarket. So yeah, a lot of the garden's going to have to come out, so it's going to be kind of sad. It was a lot of fun building up all this stuff here, but it's time to move on to the next place. So the next place is not going to be our dream house either. We're going to buy maybe a fixer-upper. We're going to live there for 1 year. That's our goal. And then we're going to move out and rent that place out and keep that cycle going a few more times until we get enough assets going to where we can afford to buy our dream property. And then I'll be able to build the gardens of my dreams and do all the permaculture stuff that I've been studying at the property. So that's kind of the plan for the future, and you guys need to follow along with my channel so you can see if these plans pan out in the future, which I think they will. And then I know at each property we go to, I'm still going to have some veggies growing. It's just I'm not going to build built-in raised beds or anything like that. It's going to be simple and easy. That way we can when we move, it'll be an easy transition to the next place without having to do a lot of work. All right, so this year has been very hectic. I feel like I've got to the point in my life where I don't have a lot of free time available during the week. So I don't know if you guys know this. I'm a handyman by trade. I have my own business, and I basically go around repairing broken things at people's houses 5 to 6 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days. And then I come home, and I go check out jobs, do bids for people, play with the kids, make YouTube videos for you guys, work on the garden. It's a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on. And then in the middle of that, we're looking at properties to move to, and then we have to get this place ready for rent, which is, oh my God, it can be daunting sometimes. But I do this year. I have a new exciting series. It hasn't come out yet. It's going to be called The Garden Diet. I have the main video. The first video is called The Garden Diet, My Story, and it's a story basically about my struggle with weight problems throughout my life, and then I show you how I lost 100 pounds, basically eating a whole food plant-based diet. So you guys will have to check that series out when I get it out. I'm working on the video right now, and it's taken me a long time to make it. There's a lot going on. The beginning story is basically a story about my whole life. It kind of compressed into, probably going to be about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer video. So when I get that out, you guys are going to have to check it out. What else has been going on this year? Oh, another thing I've been doing at night is I've been taking Jeff Lawton's online permaculture class, permaculture design course. And you know what? It's been a lot of fun, but the problem is, I've had a problem with it, is the only time I have to study for it is late at night. And by the time it's 9, 10, 11, I'm so tired, I start falling asleep. That's my biggest issue I've had with it. I've already listened to over 200 lectures on the subject of permaculture, and he's got over 700 lectures and slides to go through. So it's a lot of information, and they give you 1 year to complete the course, and then you have to turn in your final exam, and then after that they'll give you your permaculture design certificate. So hopefully at the end of the year I'll be able to get that design certificate. So I can, and the reason I took the class is I didn't want to become a permaculture designer, to work for people, but I wanted to learn the information so I can apply it to my own property in the future. Because that's the reason we were actually looking. Yeah, that's the reason we were actually looking at a big property for ourselves, is so I can have my own permaculture property. But that's going to be put on the shelf for a while until we can get enough money to do that. So that's pretty much what's been going on here. We're in good health. The kids are doing great. They're getting big. I feel great. So yeah. So this year's garden I haven't spent much time on because I've been so busy, and it didn't cost me a lot either to start that garden. I've literally planted most of the stuff from seeds that I saved from last season. So the peppers, the melons, and the zucchini and beans were all seeds that I had from previous seasons, except for the zucchini. I did buy those, but those were like 50 cents a bag, a packet, very cheap. So I started all those from seeds, and the only thing I really bought was the eggplant and some of the herbs and the tomatoes. I probably got maybe $30 to $35 in plants out in the garden this year, which is so cheap. And if you had to buy all that produce that I've got this year at the store, it would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And we've literally gotten, I wish I would have waited, but we must have had 200, 300, 400 pounds of zucchini coming out of this garden. It's been crazy. Tons of tomatoes. The tomatoes are expensive. If you get organic tomatoes at the store, can add up. A little basket of cherry tomatoes is $4 or $5 at the co-op. So we're saving tons of money on our veggies, and the veggies are helping us get healthy. You cannot go wrong with fresh fruits and vegetables from your garden, and that's the main reason that I have a garden, is for my health. It is fun. It's a fun hobby to have too, but the main thing is having the garden gets me to want to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables. Now, all I eat is fresh fruits and vegetables because I'm vegan, but in the past I wasn't always vegan, and the garden helps a lot. If you're not a vegan, that's great. You can do whatever you want to do. Just make sure you add maybe more veggies on your plate. Eat the veggies first. And then by the time you get to your meat, you might not be as hungry and you might eat less of it. Because the less you can eat, animal products, the healthier you're going to be. And I know that for a fact because I used to weigh 300 pounds. And it wasn't because I ate a bunch of fruit and vegetables. It was because I was eating stuff I shouldn't have been eating. Processed junk food and animal products. That's what got me. So I think we'll end the video here, guys. Now, if you can do me a huge favor, if you already haven't, can you please subscribe to my channel? And then after you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you guys can be notified and when I post my first garden diet video. And then give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to share it with your family and friends. And I want to thank you for watching and I will see you guys the next episode. Alright, so we're going to give you guys some bonus footage from the kids. They're going to take you around and show you their favorite veggies in the gardens to eat. And they're also going to harvest some veggies for their mom to cook for dinner. Okay, you guys ready to go get the veggies?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Alright guys, so what are we looking at here? I don't know if you want to pick that one, Lily.
That's a hot one.
That's a spicy one. Okay, Mom wanted some of these Ajvarski peppers in here, these red peppers. Can you see them?
Yeah.
Okay, can you take one?
These?
Yeah, can you get in there and cut it?
I have to cut it.
Just make sure you only cut the pepper off.
Can I try to cut one?
Yeah.
I need like shoes for
Here, you hold the basket. How about this? You hold the basket, and Blake, I'll help you out.
I need to go get some shoes.
Let me click it off real quick for you. I'll click them off. Two peppers.
You just throw the veggies in the garden.
Where are they at? Here we go. Okay, you hand that and put that in the, wait a minute. You put that in the basket. Okay. And what do you like to do with those?
Watch this one.
We'll wash them off in a minute. Hey Blake, so what do you like to do with the peppers?
Cook them.
I don't know. I think Blake likes them raw. Do you like raw peppers?
I like everything raw.
Okay, so we also need
He
some...
likes broccoli raw. It's disgusting.
He likes broccoli raw and you like it cooked.
Yeah. With
So
salt.
Mom also wanted some ripe tomatoes, and I know where there's a lot of ripe tomatoes. So let's head over to the big tomato plant, and I know you guys are good at picking those. Oops. So here's the scissors, Blake.
Can I try to
Oh yeah, you can do it too. Pick some.
No, Blakey.
Hold the basket, Blake, for Lily. Or you can set it down, Lily. Okay, pick a couple real red ones. Real red ones.
Good?
Yeah, that one looks perfect. So just make sure you clip the vine right on top of the tomato. You gotta hold the tomato though, honey. Because that'll fall. Tomatoes are a little bit... No.
What?
You're gonna cut too many off. Put your hand on the tomato. Put your hand underneath it. There you go. Okay, put that one in the basket. Alright, now put your hand on the other one. Okay. Look. Okay. Where is it at? Okay. Good job. It's kind of hard to reach in there, huh? We got enough or we need more? There's one right there you can just grab. Okay, go ahead and grab it. Alright. Do we need more peppers than that? Or should we, is that enough?
She only said 2 of these peppers.
Only 2 peppers? Okay. Alright.
I need one to eat.
You need one to eat.
Can I
Okay.
have the basket now?
Here, come over here, guys. I'll give you one to eat, dude. Let's see if we can find a real red one. It's hard to get in this garden. It's such a jungle.
I know, we're going through like stuff, bud.
Okay, here's a red one for you to eat. We'll wash it off when we get inside. No, I wanted... Hey, wait a minute. Can you guys show our viewers the best tasting tomatoes that are good to eat, that are tiny? Can you show where those are? Let's see. Okay, let's see you guys eat one.
Would you guys like a bite?
Oh, they ate it. So that was...
Who wants a bite?
I think that was the sun sweet that Lily ate, right?
Wait, here you go. Eat this.
Oh, they're gonna eat that too? Now, Blake,
Who wants a bite?
Blake, I know that you love something green in the garden, and I think it's called basil. can you show everybody how delicious the basil is here? Come over here. It's over this way, bud. Let's see. Oh, he's on a mission. Oh, we're not going to do that, though. Blake's got a lot of energy. All right, Blake. So where is it at? It's right there. We got to grab a piece and show him. Lily's going to do it. Okay, Lily. Let's see.
Here you go. Eat it, too.
You going to eat it? Let me see you eat it. Basil. I don't even eat basil raw like that from the garden. What else do you guys like to eat in the garden? I definitely know that Blake will come out here and eat tons of this basil. Just like that. Man, you're like a rabbit, Blake. You're a little bit animated right now. Now where are you going? He's got a lot of energy. Oh, he's going back to the tomatoes. He's having a dinner here at the garden. It's nice to see you guys out here foraging for your food, huh?
I can show you what we picked.
Oh yeah, you guys picked some good stuff. So you know what, guys? Let's give all this produce to Mom so she can make us a nice, delicious,
Daddy,
healthy vegan meal. What is it?
What did you put in your video? Did you film the grapes?
Yes, I did. All right, guys.
Go like this.
Can you,
Hey, Pepper.
Lily? Let's. I need both of you guys to do me a huge favor and just say bye to everybody. Can you guys do that? Because we got to get our dinner
everybody.
cooking.
Make sure to subscribe to this video. Give it a big thumbs up. See you guys. Daddy's latest garden videos. See you guys in the next garden video.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
See you later,
Bye.
Bunny Rabbit Blake. All right, let's go get the dinner cooking.